speak about, the carotid artery, it was just put out there a few weeks ago. A scientific journal spoke about how the bacteria that gets into the gut, of course, compromises the immune system. And what a lot of people don't understand is that 75% of your immune system response is in your gut. And when you begin to understand the whole bacterial interaction, you start to understand that. All right? The more stuff that sits in your gut, the more bacterial infestation you're going to have. So it's important to have good oral health, but also to eat the proper foods that are going to transit the body and not sit there and putrefy. That will compromise the immune system. Coupled with the fact that the digestive enzymes that are inherent in our saliva, they carry that back and forth into the gut. When people hear on the news and read the various health journals and they talk about the immune system, very few people ask, well, what is the immune system?
Right.
So what is the immune system? All right, what do I need to do to keep the immune system correct? That's never explained. But 75% of the immune system response is in the gut. When you get that bacteria sitting there,
I don't know where we think it is.
Right.
But I'm your student, so I did know that. Yeah. So that immune system is so powerful.
Yeah. And it's I'm not saying it's easy to address it because it does involve a measured level of discipline in your culinary habits. But knowing it will help you to make some better changes, in what you eat. I like to say to some clients, you want an uncle, using that as an analogy with bacteria and food, you want an uncle that's going to come for the weekend and leave.
Right.
Okay? You don't want an uncle that said, well, I'm just here for a couple of days, and then 6 months later, he's still there. So, I'm leaving sometime. That's the analogy to the gut. When you eat food that does not have fiber in it, does not have hydration in it, does not have minerals in it, it sits there in the gut. And that's that uncle that just, it's January, well, okay, all right, it's the 4th of July, I'm still here, I'm going to be here. That material putrefies. It rots.
Yeah.
In the gut. And the bacteria come in and they call their cousins, look, party is over here.
Proliferate, yeah.
And they sit there.
And they destroy the normal, what we call the normal flora. So we have a normal flora of bacteria in our mouths, and they're symbiotic with us. Right. We actually need them to survive. Right. We have them in our mouth, and the only place that we have more is in our guts.
Right.
And our gut, when we say our gut, we are talking about our small intestines and our large intestine. Am I correct?
Correct, and the stomach.
And the stomach too?
Yeah, the alimentary canal.
The whole canal.
Right.
Okay, this is the whole digestion, which begins with the mouth and oral health.
Right.
And so the only place you have more than in the mouth is in the gut. So we need these normal floral bacteria. And they're in other places too, because women get yeast. Yeah, they're all over the body. It's systemic. It's very systemic.
But it all starts at the portal.
It starts at the portal in the mouth. Yes. And that's what we're trying to relate to our patients and really across the world. We're on a mission of having people be addicts for good immune system, good oral health. And so that just like they run 5 miles for their body, they actually take time, 2 minutes, 3 minutes in the morning for their oral health regimen.
It's worth it.
It's really worth it. Yeah. So we went over all things about bacteria. It's in the sulcus. It's down in our pockets, which is a separation between our teeth and the gums. And those bad bacteria like to hang around down there. And when you don't remove them by brushing your gums and brushing into your pockets, what happens is, like you said, they putrefy in there. And then our body sends an immune system reaction trying to get rid of those bacteria. But because you never brush them away, it just gets worse and it becomes what we call a chronic,
Right.
a
Right.
very, very chronic condition that actually starts moving through your whole body.
Right.
So we are asking people to, you know, even if you don't have a dentist, the dental school, Community College of Philadelphia, actually you can have this treatment done there for free. So there's really no excuse. You can come to a dentist like myself, but you can go there and have this oral health care performed for no cost.
Right.
And get yourself back to optimal health.
And place yourself in a position to ask questions. So
Yes.
you have sustained
Yes.
benefit. I think we were speaking up top, I don't want to negate this, about how a few weeks ago they proved that the bacterial and pathogen buildup in the gut actually will determine what people eat. It's almost like the microbes. The microbes are actually, they become accustomed to an environment, and they send a signal, so to speak, to your brain.
Almost like
of
a
eating.
craving.
That's exactly it. That I thought it was fascinating when I read that.
So they're sending a craving for sugar or a craving for salt or a craving for this, that, and the other.
We don't want no vegetables. Bring us that other stuff that helps us to proliferate our kind in your gut. That was a fascinating read.
So is that just a mental thing, Ron? That we have to have the discipline to counteract that
It could
bacterial
be
craving?
it could be a mental thing, but it
Is
could
there
also
anything else we can do for that?
Yeah. Watch what we eat. I mean, right now
Yes.
there's so much information in 2019 about how you should be eating. All right, but people have to understand, and this is a big one, that what they eat is in direct relationship to the health of their body. A lot of people don't think that what they eat causes problems with the body. It's almost like they think it falls with the rain. It doesn't fall with the rain.
What's wrong with the rain?
You know, you eat live food, it's going to feed a live cell. Bottom line.
Well,
cell.
can you explain to us what live food means?
Sure. It grows out of the ground, fruits, vegetables, whole grains. A better way of putting it is food that has minerals in it, food that has electrolytes in it. All right? That's what's going to feed a live cell, because actually the cell can recognize live food. All right? The cell in its how do I say, in its duplicating process, regenerative process, if it's intaking live material, you're going to get a stronger, better cell. That's going to contribute to your health. But if you're eating food with microbes, you know, and your bacteria proliferating the furtherance of that, then the health of the body, the entire body, is going to be compromised.
You know, I was told once, I don't know if it's true, I'm going to ask you this question, is that when we shop in the supermarket, they say just try to stay around to the edges of the supermarket, because as soon as you go inside the aisles,
That's right.
we get into a lot of chemicals and a lot of
Preservatives,
dyes and
synthetic,
preservatives and things that our body doesn't really recognize.
Salt,
As-
sugar.
Yeah, as live food.
Yeah, you stay on the outer
Just,
perimeter,
perimeter.
where the produce, where the produce is.
Yeah.
It makes all the difference, you know, in the world, because you know when you go into those aisles, my goodness gracious! But you go into the supermarket now, you see people with 2 carts with those the aisle stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I like to call that stuff puppy chow. I have an
Okay.
affectionate term for it. I call it puppy chow. People question me about that, but I say, listen. If it ain't no God in it, don't eat it.
Okay.
All right, not a religious statement, not a social statement, but when I say that, we want food that has life in it. You know, a gentleman once told me years ago, he said, you know, you want to eat food that will rot and spoil, but you want to eat it before it does that. See, you get stuff that has a long shelf life.
We don't want that at
For
all.
some reason, people think, okay, well, if I eat it, it's not going to sit in my gut. Well, my goodness, it sat on the shelf for 7 months.
A
What makes you think that you're going to be able to get rid of it? That's the stuff we're talking about. That's the stuff that gets in there.
And this is a gem from Mr. Ron Norwood of the Herb Nook. Yes.
And it putrefies.
It makes perfect sense.
The other part of it we
Makes
want to
perfect
remember
sense.
too, that those microbes from that bacteria, when that stuff sits there, that's where the bad breath comes from. That putrefaction process.
Yes.
And I'm noticing in 2019 and 2018, 2017, people think that that's the norm. I'm supposed to get up to you, and this green air, hits me. You hit the door, and you're 20 feet away. Oh my goodness gracious! But that's that stuff that sits there. And the mint thing, mint. No, you get the gut cleaned down, and stop eating stuff that.
And you have to get the sulcus and the pockets cleaned out too.
You have
because
to.
periodontal disease has its own unique smell. And so a lot of things you can actually smell the breath and tell what's going on.
Yep.
So you can look at the oral mucosa and kind of tell what's going on.
Yep.
And you can smell the breath and kind of tell what's going on.
Yeah, and the breath is a lead-in.
Yeah, yeast has its own smell.
That's right.
Yeah, so different things in our mouth have a smell. And so we have to be aware of that.
Yeah, and move on it in a positive
And move
way.
on it. So we always recommend that when people are suffering from halitosis, you have to come and see your oral health practitioner, or we refer over to Mr. Norwood, the herb hook. When we rule out that it's not periodontal disease, it's something else. It's something else causing this, and then we make the referrals as needed. So I think that we kind of sum it up. Yeah, we covered a lot today. We did a good thing with bacteria because we really want our patients and the world to know how important bacteria is to us and how much it can harm us. So it's a yin and yang, a give and take within our systems, and we're just so happy to have you here. Is there anything else you want to say today?
Yeah, we could go on, but we'll
do that
on the next one.
This is our Heal, Teach, and Inspire educational and inspirational series. And I think in 2020, we're going to start and have Mr. Norwood. He's a wonderful master herbalist, but he's also, a lot of people don't know, he teaches a lot of inspirational classes also. And so maybe we'll have him come in and do one of the inspirational talks about when we get to the tongue and how powerful words are.
Yes, good.
Yeah, we'll do that next. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.